TIFU by taking a DNA test and uncovering decades of lies. Our story begins a few months back when I am spending some time with my cousin and his wife. As our kids are playing, we're complaining the usual family issues when I confide in him that for my entire life I felt like I had been raised in the wrong family. I never fit in at home. Oldest of 5 kids. Was constantly asked if I was adopted. And that led me to just being a pretty unhappy kid. I still carry and struggle with a lot of those feelings to this day. Well, my friends, to say his mood took a turn would be an understatement. He was suddenly overcome with guilt and told me that a year or 2 back his mom had had a little too much to drink and, completely unprompted, confessed to his wife that my mom had already been pregnant when she met my dad. The story she gave was that my mom went on vacation in Spain. We live in the US. And came home pregnant. Met my dad. And all of the adults Juad agreed to never bring it up ever again. Honestly, I was completely unsurprised by everything except the vacation in Spain. Though I did know she had gone on study abroad trips across Latin America. So, I went ahead and took a DNA test if the story was true and I had a different father from somewhere in Spain. It would be pretty easy to figure out since my dad I grew up with is almost entirely Irish. Now we have arrived to the climactic present and it turns out my results show 50% Jewish where Irish should be. A twist upon a twist. The Spanish vacation was incorrect but the grain of Trutby was there. There has never been mention of a drop of Jewish heritage in the family. Let alone 50%. Now I'm left to clean up 30 years of this mess without upending the already shaky family dynamics I'm already working with. Pro tips for the new parents out there. Deep dark family secrets are going to come out eventually. Addressing the issue head-on makes it something that can be resolved. If they had told me of their own accord, this would not have been an issue. There's obviously a lot to unpack, but at least I have more perspective on me early life. And kudos to my dad for sticking around and raising me with everyone else. TLDR. My aunt got drunk and confessed that a 30-year who felt out of place their entire life. Have a biological father that I have never met. I took a DNA test to confirm and now have to unravel this tangled mess. Change your last name to O'Brien. As someone whose parents were both adopted, when I took a DNA test out of curiosity, and to see if I was predisposed to any genetic diseases, I became that person that unknown blood relatives people reached out to. The enigma. Who is this guy that it says I'm first or second cousins with that I've never met before? They ask. Yeah. Well, I've met some nice relatives who don't care about the scandal that took place 70 years ago. And don't think it tarnished the memory of their mother or father. And there are those who want nothing to do with me. All in all, nothing much changed. I admire the hell out of my grandparents and wouldn't trade the fond memories with them for the wondering of what could have been with people with whom I share a link by blood and nothing else. It did give some closure to my parents though, with only 1/4 of my biological grandparents known prior to the test. One grandparent is even still alive, but doesn't seem interested in meeting my parent. So I guess that's all we needed to know. If nothing else, you know a little more about your genetics. And that may help you make medical decisions in the future. It doesn't need to change the relationship with your family unless you want it to. Everyone who helped raise you are still the same people, whether you're biologically connected or not. It's up to you if you want to change that dynamic. Hio mio, preparate para tu bar mitzvah. There has historically been a large Jewish community in Spain. Don't know if that's still the case though, but you might want to look them up. That's quite a shock. I'm sure you have a million questions but no answers at this point. I guess you have to figure out what you want to gain in all this. The family that loved and raised you is your family. Your sperm donor father may or may not know anything about you, or may have decided years ago that he wanted no part in any of this. At this point, you may want to figure out how you choose to move forward. Talk to a therapist if needed, or find an online group where others have gone through this before. Really, in the end, it's up to you to find what's best for yourself, but your family will always be your family. Blood doesn't matter much in the end. I'm 25 and I found out through Ancestry that my mom cheated on my dad. Always thought that it was weird that my dad and I didn't have any similar interests, and I was just like an oddball. Neither one of my parents know that I know, but yes, definitely a lot to unpack coming from a similar situation. This happened to my Mill. Her parents were deceased, so she never got to ask them about it. She has 2 new half-brothers though, and they were very welcoming, and her current siblings' feelings didn't change a drop. Family dynamic is the same. Silver lining. At least you found out early enough so that you can talk to your mom about it. You don't mention your dad, but maybe you can discuss with him too. Could be worse, maybe? The funny twist is that the added part for Mill was 100% Jewish too. Something about those Jewish people. Just remember the words of the prophet Yondu. He, the sperm donor, might have been your father, but he wasn't your daddy. Knowing about the Ashkenazi Jewish genetic heritage will be useful for future medical stuff, as there are some specific genetic conditions that are common among Ashkenazi Jews. https www.bmc.org/genetic-services/Jewish genetic disease screening. Mazel tov? We recently found out my grandma was adopted. Her adoptive parents didn't think they could have kids. Adopted her, then popped out 8 children. You can be both 50% Spanish and 50% Jewish at the same time. And I mean the same 50%. I would say wrong sub here because you did not commit the lol. I don't know if you used Ancestry or 23andMe, etc. But I will say I did both, and different relatives and info on each. It's an interesting comparison. My grandma hoarded family secrets in a veritable closet and guarded it with her life. She wouldn't budge, wouldn't drop a hint, and nothing was going to move her. She had a baby out of wedlock as a 15-year-old, meaning she got pregnant when she was 14, and married my grandpa when she was 18. The math wasn't mathing, but she would just ignore you if you questioned it. Except for the 2 times I watched her angrily curse out 2 of my cousins being dumb teenagers. At one point, my cousin, the son of the kid in parental question, was in the hospital and he called her begging for any kind of medical history, and she cursed him out and didn't speak to him for several years. I think she may have been raped, but we'll never know. Her reactions were just so violent when asked about it. When Ancestry came out, my cousin did it and found a hit. Managed to work out that some guy whose family was now in NJ used to live next to my grandma with his wife and 3 kids. Right around when grandma would have went, "You feed up," he just uprooted them all and moved them to NJ, which in the 1930s, might as well have been just eradicated from the face of the earth. Secrets will indeed come out. Honestly, I don't get it. If I found out my dad wasn't my biological dad, he would still be my dad, and I wouldn't care who my bio dad was. Especially seeing as he raised you since birth. I think most people, maybe it's not common sense, that these DNA tests and backgrounds aren't as accurate as many people are led to believe. Also, you can go on vacation to a different country and have sex with people who aren't from that country. Point being, the trip to Spain still could be a thing. Lol. shaking my head that people haven't figured out a Jew isn't just in Israel. There are Spanish Jews, by the way. Genetics plays no part in creating a family. It's 100% love. Just want to comment that Spain is not Latin America. Real question. Why does it matter to you? You are who you are. This changes nothing. Your social father brought you up without complaint. Your bio dad played no part. Let it lie. I was adopted as a 6-month-old. My bio family found me when I was 3. I met all 6 of my siblings. And my bio dad. 30 years later I am best friends with one of my sisters. When you were born, no one dreamed anyone would just be able to get a DNA test like this to uncover secrets. Family secrets are no longer secret.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. BipedalCow is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.